Hello and welcome to this new episode of Live, Travel, Repeat. Today, meet Yvonne, a young woman from Singapore with a penchant for adventure. She has changed jobs more often than I can count, all in the names of enjoying the excitement that accompanies the exploration of new countries and culture. Even though she has eventually relocated to Portugal, she has no intention of slowing down, sharing her time between country hopping, diving, festivals, and more. Her most valued passport? The one that resides in her infectious laugh and unyielding good humour. Enjoy. Today I'm interviewing Yvonne from Singapore. Hello Yvonne.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Yvonne. I'm from Singapore. I've been traveling for the past 8 years in and out of Europe as well as South America. So that's what makes my life interesting. Yeah, that's why I'm here today. Yeah, having this interview with you.
Do you mean that before you started traveling, your life was not interesting in Singapore?
No, it's just working, 9 to 5 and then go to the gym and then go home. It's not really that interesting. And then we only have like 14 days leave, like a holiday, so we can't go anywhere. Okay. Yeah, so it's pretty boring. We only can have like holiday once or twice a year if you want a big break on a holiday. Yeah, so it's not what I'm looking for actually. Yeah.
Singapore is a very fast-paced city. Was there something like a burnout involved when you decided to go out on your way solo traveling?
Yeah, because I realized that all we did is just working, making money. We don't really get a chance to enjoy our life. So one day I decided that okay, I should stop wasting my life, and I decided to quit my job and then start traveling. So at that time, I have a job. I was working for them for 5 years. 5 years. So it was like a 9 to 5. It's a very stable job, good for retirement. Yeah, I have a really amazing boss. But after that, I realized that why am I wasting my life? I want to do more than that. I want to see the world. Singapore is so small. I haven't seen more than just Singapore. The most I only travel around Asia. I had never been to Europe. I never even been to like Australia. I was like, okay, maybe I should start traveling. So that's why I decided, to hand my resignation to my boss. Told her that I'm gonna take a long break and then I want to travel Europe for the unforeseeable future. At that point, I'm not sure how long I'm gonna travel, but I set myself like, okay, let's do this for 4 months and see how it goes. And then there's no turning back. Then that's when I start traveling, until now. Yeah.
Wow. Fantastic. So since 2015, you have been pretty much on the road every single year, right?
Almost, unless I'm really broke, and then I will actually go back home to make some money. Yeah, so Singapore is a perfect place to make money, and then you spend it somewhere else. Yeah, so every time I'm broke, I just go back work for a year, and then quit my job, and then start traveling for 2 years, something like that. Yeah, until last year, I decided to permanently quit my job and move to Europe. Yeah, so that's my story.
So now you're actually based in Lisbon, in Portugal.
Yes.
In Portugal.
Yes. I'm based in Lisbon now. I actually traveled for the past 2 years since COVID to find a base. So I've been to a few countries in Europe, but I realized that Lisbon is more like my base. Yeah, I like the lifestyle. Everything is affordable, and the crowd community is very international. Although I don't speak Portuguese, but I meet a lot of people that speak English, so it's very easy for me to integrate. That's why I chose Lisbon as my base compared to the rest of Europe. Yeah.
What does Lisbon have in comparison with Paris, London, or Barcelona? What convinced you to put your luggage over there?
I must say it's the people. Portuguese people are very warm people. It's very easy to make friends. For example, I go out for a night, maybe for a drink at night, I can meet a bunch of people already. So within my 1 month stay in Lisbon, I know a lot of people actually, and some of them become my really close friends. Yeah, so I was thinking, okay, maybe Lisbon is the place to be. Like I say, I have traveled to a lot of countries, stayed for a few months, but nothing feels like Lisbon. Yeah, so that's why I set my eye on Lisbon. I want to move to Lisbon. And I finally did it like 3 months ago. I got my residency in Lisbon. Yeah.
So Lisbon is very social, very interesting, and you are very social as well.
Yes.
So when you started traveling, did you know people abroad, or it was a complete blank state, and you had to go to meetups or to Couchsurfing or to Instagram in order to meet new people? How did you do?
I started traveling using Couchsurfing. So when I started in Singapore, I just meet people using some of the apps on Couchsurfing, like the Hangout apps. So I only people locally. So people will travel to Singapore, I will just bring them around and show them Singapore. And then after I realized that it's a good way to meet people. So I started to plan out my Europe trip back in 2015. I was set up myself to plan for like 4 months to travel around Europe, and then I started sending requests to people that stay from the country, whether they can host me for a few days in terms of language exchange or culture exchange. And then from there, I started to build up my profile. So up to today, I have about 157 references from Couchsurfing. Most of them are still my friends. Host turned friends, and we will always meet up like once every few years to travel together. So Couchsurfing kind of actually changed my life in a way, how I travel. Or else, how am I going to meet these amazing people? Like, I can go to the bar, it's different, right? But you don't know about the people, you need time to know the people. But through Couchsurfing, you get to read about that person in their profile, in life, how are they like, whether you guys vibe together, whether you share the same interests. So Couchsurfing will be a good way to start if you want to to start traveling solo. Yeah.
When people visited Singapore and you met them on Couchsurfing, what place, what sites did you bring them to see in Singapore exactly? What was the highlights of the stay there?
I would say that our most popular landmark is the Marina Bay Sand and the Infinity Pool and Garden by the Bay. So all these are the main attractions you have to see in Singapore. But usually I will bring them to like some hidden gem that only locals know. Yeah, that's what make my country interesting, right? You don't read this on the guidebook, and sometimes you're not allowed to go there. So there's one time I have 2 Norwegian friends. They came and visit in Singapore, so I brought them to our red light district. The red light district is not listed in the guidebook, but only the local knows. So I brought them there. I showed them, this is a red light district. Go and take a look. Ask whatever question you want, and then I'll come pick you up later. But of course, they didn't do anything funny. They just like look around, just like Amsterdam red light district. They just look around and see what's going on. So it's something that tourists don't do. Yeah, but I bring them there because I'm a local. I know where to go and where not to go. Yeah, so this is one of the highlights.
So it was a red light district like in Amsterdam, you mean? Like?
Yeah, something similar, but not as open as Amsterdam.
Oh, okay.
So only the local go there. Yeah, we don't see a lot of tourists. So it's quite eye-opener for them actually. Yeah, of course you're not allowed to take photo and stuff like that. Yeah, so it was a nice experience for them. Yeah.
Only touch with your eyes.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was quite fun for them, It's like they will never know about these places if I never bring them there. You can never read that on the guidebook, you see.
So you have a lot of travels all along the years, and I guess you become better and better at traveling. How do you prepare actually your travels every year?
To be honest, the best way is not to plan anything. But there's a lot of uncertainty. So my first trip to Europe, I was traveling for 4 months. I actually planned my trip carefully, meaning that I will choose which city I will go to, and then where I will go next, and then check on the transportation. Yeah, in that way, actually, I save more money. Yeah, for example, I book the hostel in advance. When you book in advance, it's cheaper. Buses, train as well, and as well as flights. If you book in advance, it's actually cheaper. If you want to plan your trip like this, you can save a lot of money. Of course, sometimes mishap happen. You miss your train, you miss your flight, but you have to cater in that, or all this will be the unforeseen cost. It's gonna happen, Yeah, so usually what I do, I just plan according, like 3 days in this city to see whatever I want to see, and then next trip I will maybe book a bus to another city and stuff like that. So that 4 months when I traveled in Europe, that's how I plan my itinerary. And also I check what are the main things to see in each city. For example, when I was in Barcelona, I was there during the Pride Week, which is amazing. Yeah, so I spent 4 days there, and then after that I went to Pamplona for the bull race. It was the San Fermin festival. Yeah. So I spent 3 days there. So it was the right time to be there. Yeah. And then after that, I went to Madrid and also check out any festival that I want to go to. So that's how I plan my itinerary. Yeah. So maybe firstly, if you really want to plan a trip, plan on what festival you want to see, and then what country. I also check the weather, is it okay? And then from there, you plan the trip according to how it's gonna flow. Yeah, so like that you can save money and also see the main attraction that you want to see. Yeah. So that's how I usually plan my trips.
Let's get back to San Fermin Festival. So you went to see the bull races in Pamplona. Did you race with the bulls?
Oh, I'm very lucky. I found a couchsurfing host in Pamplona. It's extremely hard to find a host because most Spanish people, they actually party with their own friends or their family. No one will actually want to bring a foreigner. But I found this guy. He's really, really nice. He said that he can stay with me for 3 days. He can join me for all the party that I have. So he actually invited me to stay with him. And then we went for lunch just before the start of San Fermin. So we went for lunch with his friends. It's about 12, 13 of us. It was really nice. And the thing is, no one speaks English. So I'm the only English speaker. So they try really hard to talk to me using like translator. But after a few drinks, I really get drunk. They can't speak any more English. Yeah, so I try to just, move along and join them. Yeah, it was really nice. And then we went to the opening of San Fermin at the square, the main square. It was crazy. Yeah, the whole square was full of people, mostly just guys, because it can get really rowdy. So when they count down to the beginning, the start of the festival I think at 12 o'clock, then everything go crazy. Yeah, so it was really fun. And I remember that 3 days is just drinking, party, dancing, very little sleep. Yeah. So I did ask the Spanish people, how do you feel about San Fermin? Because you kill the bull, it's cruel, stuff like that. They told me that for them it's a culture that they cannot remove it, but for them it's just together to have a good time. They are not interested in killing the bulls or seeing the bulls being killed. So I can understand from that point of view, you cannot just remove a culture that have been here centuries. But you can just, to them it's just more like enjoying with their friends, have a good time. Yeah, so that's what they actually taught me. I'm pretty happy about it. I actually make a video about this as well. Yeah, on my YouTube channel. And then after that, I remember I went for the bull race in the morning. They start in the morning, so all the guys are running. Women are not allowed to run. So I just watched by the sideline. So it's like, okay, it was pretty crazy. Everyone was like really racing. The bull was like going crazy. And then they all went to the arena. And then that's where the party started. We watched the real bull racing at the arena. Yeah, it was nice, but it's not something that I want to watch again.
No, okay.
So it's really sad. So
you did it. It was out of your bucket list, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's out of your bucket list.
It's like, I checked my list. I had this fiesta. To me, it's just a fiesta. It's not like more like killing bull. It's just a fiesta. Have fun, So San Fermin, they celebrate for like 5 to 7 days. Everyday party. Very little sleep. Yeah, so that's the main festival. It was really fun. Yeah.
Speaking also of parties, you went to Tomorrowland, right?
Oh yes.
This is a music festival. I'm not very keen on music festivals, so I don't know. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah. Part of my Europe trip is also include a festival, Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland is one of the biggest festival in Europe. So it's like a two weekend. Used to be just 1 weekend, but right now they extend to 2 weekend. So it's from Thursday all the way to Monday. Yeah, so we have international stars from all over the world, artists from trance music, techno, reggae, what kind of music you can think of. So it probably is the biggest music festival in the world, and it's like my biggest dream to be there. Yeah, so I'm very lucky I managed to get a ticket because the priority is always given to the people in Belgium. Like
it's always in Belgium.
Yes, it's always has been in Belgium. The original one is Belgium, but right now they have different version, like the Brazil one and then another country I can't remember. Yeah, but the main one is always in Belgium. Yeah.
So it is also a lot of parties, little sleep.
Yeah, it's almost like no sleep. The parties start like 12 p.m. all the way to like 12 a.m. Yeah, so the only time you sleep is like after midnight, which is not so bad. Yeah. So I have been to a lot of festivals. I've been to EDC in Vegas. I've been to Ultra in Miami. I've been to Untitled in Romania. But to compare all, Tomorrowland is still the best I've ever been. Yeah, and also the most expensive one. Yeah, I remember I spent about €650 to €850 for that 4 days festival.
Okay.
Living in a tent. Correct. So they have a tent. So mine is a glam tent, meaning the tent is already set up. I don't have to set up myself. Yeah, you have a cheaper version, which is bring your own tent. But I'm lazy. I don't want to bring tent. Yeah, so I just book whatever they have. Yeah. But the problem with Tomorrowland is it's the hardest ticket to ever get. You can't get the ticket anywhere. It's really, really hard to get a ticket. So I get the ticket through my Belgian friend actually, because they are the priority. So they managed to get a ticket before me. Yeah. So that's why I'm lucky.
Now, what place in the world which you have visited would you say is the most hospitable?
Brazil, of course, it's Brazil. Brazil is always gonna be special in my heart. I was there for 3 months. I was there during the carnival. I went there alone. I know nobody, but end up within like a week, I met so many people that become my lifetime friends. Yeah, so I will always go back to Brazil. Yeah, although a lot of things happen, like I was robbed in Brazil, but I still love Brazil. Yeah. So it's not the safest place, to be honest, especially during carnival. A lot of crimes happen. Yeah, but to be honest, if you have common sense, you'll be fine. I was really happy that time, so I was a bit, you know, not oh my god, that's why I got robbed. So I don't regret that. Yeah, so still my favorite country in the world.
Yeah, I guess when you travel solo, and it happened to me as well, you have to be a bit streetwise and not feel your instincts, feel your guts, and just avoid some stuff when you feel you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. And also I'm traveling alone. I'm an Asian. I got a lot of attention. Yeah, so makes me an easy target as well. Yeah, that time when I was robbed, I was in Salvador. Salvador is very different from the rest of Brazil. Yeah, so that's why shit like this happened to me.
This is the north.
Yes, it's almost like north. Yeah, so it's not as diverse compared to Rio. Rio, you have a lot of international people, but in Salvador, the community is slightly different, and also that part of Brazil is much poorer, so the crime rate is slightly higher. Yeah, and for me, it happens to me. It's just my luck. Yeah, and when it happens, the best part is I have a knife with me, a pocket knife, and I have a pepper spray. But I just couldn't react fast enough, to defend myself. So that's why I was robbed. Yeah. So no matter how prepared you are, shit like this will still happen. Yeah. But you just have to, get over it. It's just a phone. It's okay. Get a new phone. Don't carry anything that you cannot lose. Yeah. To me, get a new phone. It's fine.
Yeah. You still have your passport. That's the most important. Right.
Actually, no. Even I lose my passport, I'm fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't carry anything that I cannot lose. No. Yeah, so whatever I carry, I can afford to lose, so it's okay. Even passport, I can get a new one, it's okay. Although they say that my passport worth a lot of money, but still, yeah, it's okay.
Maybe the bureaucracy in Singapore is much more efficient than in other countries in Europe.
Yeah, in a way, I think is it because I'm from Singapore, we are really, really safe. Make us very vulnerable. Yeah. We are not very careful when it comes to traveling. Yeah, not like people from Spain, they were very careful. People in Brazil, they always have extra phone with them. They were extra careful about everything. Because we're from Singapore, we are always like in a very safe zone. Yeah, nothing dangerous happens. So when we travel, we also bring this with us. Oh, it's okay, we'll be fine. But actually, you just have to be careful around you. You never know.
What about the place with the nicest food?
Nicest food? Wow, I must say I really love Spanish food. Spanish food is amazing. I love paella. I will take a plane just to go to Spain to eat paella. That's why I'm in Valencia now, Yeah, so I really love Spanish food. The tapas is really good. The drink, tinto verano is my favorite. Yeah, tourists drink sangria, but the local drinks tinto verano. I always say that, yeah. So I really love the Spanish food and the culture and everything else. But I find it really difficult to live here. Yeah, because not a lot of people speak English. And it's really hard for me to learn Spanish. Yeah, and also a lot of different factors. That's why I choose Portugal to be home instead of Spain. Spain was actually my first choice. I love Madrid, yeah, but after stay there for a few weeks, I feel that it's really hard to live there. That's why I decided maybe Portugal would be a better choice. Yeah, Spain will be amazing for holidays. It's so close to Portugal. Yeah. So I'm not missing out anything, so it's okay. And I've been to most part of Spain already. I've been to like the whole of South. I did a road trip with my friend, so I spent 1 month in the South, all the way from Cadiz, Tarifa, all the way to Barcelona.
Okay, so Andalusia and back to
Barcelona. I even go to Gibraltar. Oh, yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, the coast is amazing. Yeah, I also been to I hadn't been to the north yet. Yeah, so maybe next time I'll explore the north. And I love the island. I've been to Mallorca, I've been to Tenerife. It's really nice.
Ibiza,
of course. Yeah, I go there for party. Yeah, so I went there for a few days as well, but it's really expensive. Yeah, especially the summer. So maybe I'll go during like off peak, like not summer. It will be better for me. Yeah.
It's like Tomorrowland on an island. It's like if Tomorrowland was an island.
Yeah, and accommodation is too expensive. There's no way I could live there. That's why it's like, nah, maybe not in pizza. Yeah.
Are there some skills that you learned during your travels? Something you developed, some teaching, something you learned on the way?
I learned how to enjoy life. I learned that money is not everything. Yeah, I can have a lot of money, but it doesn't mean that I'll be happy. For example, during COVID, I was stuck in Singapore for like 2 years. I make a lot of money, trust me. I make a lot of money, but I have nowhere to spend it. I was not happy. Then I was asking myself, I have all the money in the world, but I'm not happy, so what's the point having so much money? That's why during COVID, when in Singapore, no one's there to travel, meaning that no one's there to travel out of Singapore or no one coming to Singapore, I decided to leave Singapore. It was pretty frightening. I still remember when I took the flight was almost empty. I got a whole row to myself. So my area, there's only like 6 of us. It's like, okay, what's going on? It's like a fucking pandemic, you know? Yeah, but I told myself that it's worth it because nothing worth more than my mental health. Although health is important physically, but I think mental health is more important. Like for example, in Singapore, got COVID, everybody is careful, no one's there to do anything. There's no more human connection. People don't talk to people anymore because of COVID. Then what's the point? It's like I'm healthy, I have money, but I wasn't happy. That's why I decided to, okay, it's time to leave. I don't care if I COVID, but at least I'll be happy. I die a happy person. That's why I leave Europe in 2021 during so-called the peak of COVID, and I went to Europe, and then I decided to stay in Europe for 2 years. And surprisingly, in Europe, the COVID restriction is not so strict compared to Asia. Yeah, and to be honest, I have the best time, and I have the best. It was the best decision I've ever made.
You were breathing again. You were living again.
Yes, I'm living life again. That's the point. I realized that no matter how much money, you can't buy happiness. Yeah, so I was like, okay, I don't have money, but I'm happy. I'll die a happy person. Yeah. So.
Before you settled down in Lisbon, so you were going back to Singapore after every trip. How was it to settle back to your home country, home city after every trip? Was it difficult to integrate again?
It is depressing. Every time I took a plane back home, I was literally crying in the plane. So people was telling me that, oh, are you excited to go home? That's why I cry. I said, no, I don't want to go home. That's why I'm crying, you know. I have the best time when I was in Europe. Every time a trip back home is because I just want to see my family and also to make some money. Other than that, I really doesn't want to go home because the lifestyle is different anymore. I'm so used to the lifestyle here. Here in Europe, it's more like work-life balance. There's more life. But in Singapore, you just work. There's no balance at all.
It's work.
Just work. So I can't find happiness in Singapore. That's why I was thinking, why do I have to go home? Because I don't have a choice. I need to go back home because I need to see my family and friends. So every time I go home, the only comfort are my friends. I'm so happy to see some familiar faces. Those friends that know me all my life. Yeah, so I was happy to see them. But that's only temporary. When I'm home alone, I feel sad again. It's like, what am I doing here? I feel more lonely than ever, you know. I should be out there. I mean, out in the world, see the world, and not home trapped. I will use the word trap. I'm trapped in Singapore. It's like, okay, it's not the happiest thing. And also, most of my friends, they have moved on with their life because I've been away for so long. So they kind of used to not having me around. So I don't feel that kind of attachment from them anymore. Yeah, so that is really difficult part. But I'm happy for them. They're moving on. They're happy. They know what they want. For me, what I want is not in Singapore. That's why I feel really sad every time I go back home.
Do you have troubles explaining this philosophy of life to your old friends, for your school friends in Singapore?
Yeah, they don't understand because to them it's like they are following the phase of life. Get married, have children, you know, build a life, buy a house, buy a car. For me, I'm totally different from them. It's like for me, it's to my life is not in Singapore. I don't want to have a house and have a car and stuff like that. I want to be happy. To me, what is happy? Like traveling around, meeting strangers makes me happy. Talking to people from all walks of life makes me happy. See the world, see the beaches, the most beautiful beaches in the world. Climb the highest mountain in the world, or go like diving in the world. That makes me happy. That's my kind of happiness. Not getting married, not having babies. That's not my happiness. Yeah. So I did explain to them. They do understand, but we just have different opinion on stuff. Yeah. So.
I think you like a lot the sea and diving. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I'm not a very good swimmer, so but I have more than 200 dives over the years.
So when you say dive, it's like 50
Diving.
meters down?
Oh, my deepest is 44 meter, but there's nothing to see when you're 44 meter. You can see a lot more stuff in 25 meter. So I've been diving all around the world. Like in South America, I went to Galapagos. In Ecuador, it's amazing. And then I also dive in Great Barrier Reef in Australia. I also dive in Malaysia in Sipadan. It's the most amazing dive site in Asia.
How do you say Sipadan?
Sipadan in East Malaysia. Yeah, so as a diver, I want to check the list of the best dive site in the world. So I did that while I travel. I spent a lot of money on diving. Diving is expensive, but it's worth it. Yeah, so I enjoy the peace and quiet when you're underwater, and then you see all those nature, fishes, no people around you, nobody is talking, just your own breathing. To me, that's my kind of calm and quiet. Yeah, so it's pretty amazing. So when you're underwater, it's like totally a different world out there. Yeah, so that's why I really enjoy diving. As for climbing, I did a few hikes. I was more active a few years ago. I climb a lot when I'm in South America.
Yeah, you went to Macchu Pichu.
Yeah, that is hiking, not climbing.
Okay.
That's just normal climbing. Yeah, I went to Macchu Pichu. Of course, it's one of the best sites I've seen in the world. And I went to climb Potosi. It's about 5,000 meters.
It's in Bolivia?
Yes.
Yeah.
The summit is 6,300 meters. But I couldn't reach Potosi because it's too high. I couldn't breathe properly.
Ah,
So-
the oxygen was lacking?
Yes, it's almost no oxygen.
Oh.
So every 3 steps I have to stop.
Wow.
Yeah. So Potosi I only reached like the base, like 5,300. Yeah, that's my highest.
1,200. Alright.
It was tough. It was really, really tough. I haven't climbed something so tough before. Yeah. And I went there without training. It's like, oh, it looks fun, let's go. Yeah, after that I was like, fuck, why did I do this to myself? But it was worth it. The view was amazing. Yeah. So, I like to do shit like this, Yeah, so my friend told me one day you die is because you do shit like this, not because like you're sick or whatever. Yeah. But you only have one life, you live your best life. Yeah.
So when you go to special places like Macchu Picchu or some other place, do you hire guides or do you just go on your own?
No, I actually I'm with a friend, a French girl, Audrey. So we actually climb and do all the trek ourselves. We didn't hire any guide. Partly because we don't want to follow any schedule. Because you have a guide, you have to follow the schedule. Unless it's a private guide, and private guide is going to be expensive. Yeah, for us, we like to wake up anytime we want. We want to go wherever we want. We stop wherever we want to take photo. So usually we just do our own research, talk to the local, follow the local transportation, and then we go to the site ourselves. Yeah, it's more time consuming and it's more tiring because you don't have like a private charter. Yeah, but we feel that it's easier to meet people.
Mm-hmm.
We meet a bunch of local people, which is amazing. They are always very helpful, and also we have more time at the site.
Yeah.
Because if you're a guy, you say that, oh, you have half an hour here, after that we have to go. But if we do it ourselves, we can stay there for 2 hours, no one cares. It's like, so we prefer this kind of traveling. It is very tiring, but it's worth it actually. Yeah, you have more free time. As you look at my photo, I have really amazing photos, because I have a lot of time in the world to take the photos. Yeah, no one is rushing you all the time. Yeah.
So when you use Couchsurfing as well, I speak mostly for Europe or for other countries, but yeah, you don't need a guide. Your Couchsurfer is your guide.
Yes. So I was pretty lucky when I do Couchsurfing. Most of my hosts will show me around. Like they will show me the places that nobody goes. They will bring me to places that only the local goes. So these are the highlight for me. I mean, if I want to go to popular places, I can just look at a guidebook. But those places are not authentic. For example, last night I met a couchsurfing host from here in Valencia. He brought me to a bar that only local go. And the price is so much cheaper than the tourist center. Yeah, and we have a drink for like €2. We have an oyster for like also €2. It's really cheap. Yeah, so and it's not far from the center. And I won't know about this place not because of him. Yeah, so he brought us to places like this. So that's why I prefer to do couchsurfing. To me, couchsurfing is not about saving money. It's more like meeting the right people to bring the right places and also to know more about the local rather than what you see on the book. Yeah, so. But a lot of people use Couchsurfing just for free stay. That makes me really sad.
Yeah, but anyway, you detect these guys or these girls very easily. The guys who just want a free pass and that's it. Yeah.
Exactly. Like over the years, Couchsurfing has changed a lot. During the time that I use it, Couchsurfing is just pure cultural exchange. Everybody is genuine. They just want to be nice to people, to be a good host. But right now, a lot of people use it as a free stay, and some even worse. Some of the guys who use it as a hookup, like Tinder. Yeah, so I always make it very clear on my profile, this is not Tinder, this is Couchsurfing. Please, if you want to use Tinder, use the app, don't use Couchsurfing. It's totally different. Yeah, I will totally vouch for Couchsurfing. I have met the most amazing people, and some of them become my best friend. You'll be amazed. Like a girl that I met in Russia, he hosted me in Russia in 2015. We meet almost like every year to travel together. So we become really good friends now. And now she's staying in Valencia. I was just meeting her 2 days ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we were like thinking back. Remember when we met in 2015? We have a lot of dreams that we want to achieve. Right now we achieved it already. She moved to Spain. I moved to Portugal. Yeah. So we were really happy.
You're on both sides of the Iberian Peninsula. That's great.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we are just one flight away. He used to be so far from Russia. I'm from Singapore. Yeah. And now we are just like one flight away.
You're like neighbors.
Exactly. So I was like, look, girl, it's been like 8 years. We have achieved so much. Who would have thought that? Yeah. So.
Is it also thanks to Couchsurfing that you ended up in a hippie house in Santorini?
Oh yeah. Over the years, I have stayed a lot of weird accommodation. Like I stayed in a hippie house in Santorini. It's like middle of nowhere. There's no buses to go there. You have to like go there by your own transport. Yeah. I also stay in a music house full of vinyl collections. I have also stayed in.
This was in Austria, right? Or no?
It's in Switzerland. Lausanne. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I also have met. Yeah, I have a lot of weird experience for Couchsurfing. Yeah, but 80% are positive. Yeah, so I'm really grateful. I was even thinking, if there's no Couchsurfing, how am I going to travel? How am I going to meet people?
Yeah, good question.
I have to stay in a hostel, and the hostel are travelers. It's different. They're not local people, so it's really hard, you know. Or I have to go hang around the bar and talk to people, the strangers, and you know, strangers don't let them talk to you because they think they want something from you or you want something from them. Yeah, so I really think if there's no Couchsurfing, how am I going to travel? Yeah.
And speaking of that, you have done so much things. What's left on your bucket list? I mean, wow. you have been so many places. So now, what's left? What's the next step?
I already checked most of my bucket list actually. So, of course, you know, when I first started to travel, I would say that okay, I want to travel every country in the world. But come on, there's 193 countries. It's hard.
And there's new countries every time.
Exactly. and it's not even sure there's 193. Some say 196. Some say 197. So to me, it's not about checking countries anymore. It's about enjoying the country and, you know, read the culture, you know, stay at a certain place at a certain time. Yeah. So right now, I'm just have a few lists that I want to check. I want to go to Antarctica. That will cost me a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So maybe a few years down the road. Okay. Yeah, that's my biggest dreams, to go to Antarctica. And then also go to Africa and do one of the safari and see the big five, all the wild animals in the wild. Uh-huh. Yeah, and see King Kong in Uganda.
King Kong, I mean the gorilla.
Yes, I want to see them in the wild. Correct.
Yeah.
I always fascinated by King Kong. I mean, they are like human. Yeah. I really want to go there. So far, these are my bucket list. Yeah. So I'm not greedy. It's doable. It just takes some time and more money. Yeah. So slowly but surely.
Well, thank you, Yvonne. I think we have done quite a journey with you. Do you have anything to add about your travels, about your philosophy of life, about what if someone tells you, I'm afraid to travel, where should I start, how should I do?
All I can say is life is very short. Enjoy every moment. It's your job to live your best life. Travel as much as you can. Don't let anything stop you. You might be comfortable at where you are now, but the world is huge. There's a lot more you can see. So don't let it stop you. Be brave, and then one step at a time, one country at a time, and enjoy the world. Yeah, so that's all I can say.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Yvonne.
Thank you so much for having me.